Senator Kaine, I understand you intend to yield your time to a person who is not yet in the room.
That is correct, so I'll take my time,
I
Mr.
think
Chair.
would be the best backup plan. You're recognized.
Thank you. America's been at war with Iran for 12 days. The cost to our troops, to everyday Americans, and to innocent Iranian civilians, even school children, are dramatic. The war is deeply unpopular. To begin, the war is illegal. The Constitution makes plain that only Congress can declare war. The reason for this provision was articulated by Abraham Lincoln. Kings had always been involving and impoverishing their people in wars, pretending that the good of the people was the object. This our convention understood to be the most kingly of all kingly oppressions, and they resolved to so frame the Constitution that no one man should hold the power of bringing this oppression upon us. The President has escalated his use of military to carry out hostilities all over the globe without Congress, while threatening military action against many more nations. We're at war because of the unilateral actions of one man who has grown very confident that Congress will not challenge his kingly behavior. The war is unprecedented. We've heard from the President many shifting reasons for the war, but senators have now heard both publicly from the Secretary of State and from multiple sessions with civilian and military leaders a more precise and consistent reason. The President sent our sons and daughters, spouses, parents into war because another nation was determined to invade Iran, and if that occurred, Iran would likely target U.S. troops for retaliation. The trigger event of this war was Israel's decision to invade Iran on February 28. We could have avoided this war by persuading Israel that it shouldn't invade and that doing so would hurt its ally, America, and cause global instability. There's no evidence that we tried to do that. Or we could have focused on protecting our own troops from retaliation following an Israeli invasion. Instead, President Trump decided to join an invasion of Iran initiated by another nation. He is not the first American president who has been urged to take this step. Others wisely resisted. He did not. The war is unnecessary. Iran and America were allies during and after World War II until America engineered the toppling of Iran's democratically elected government in 1953. That act, followed by 26 years of a brutal dictatorship that the U.S. helped fund, created deep hostility between.
What happens when a United States senator stands on the Senate floor and declares that America's latest war is illegal? That's exactly what happened when Senator Tim Kaine delivered a fiery speech questioning the decision to send American troops into conflict with Iran. In a moment that stunned the chamber, Kaine argued that the United States had been pulled into war without the approval of Congress, warning that the country may be repeating mistakes from past conflicts. But his speech went far beyond politics, raising questions about history, diplomacy, and the real cost of war. Let's break down what happened.
Hostility between our two nations, formerly friends. When the Iranian people finally threw off that oppressive dictatorship in 1979, that hostility resulted in 5 decades of violence between our countries, the facts of which are well known to American and Iranian citizens alike. Iran engages in dangerous behavior toward the U.S., its neighbors, and its citizens. But does that danger, more than 6,000 miles from our shores, warrant the sacrifice of our troops, the killing of innocent civilians, and the expense of billions of taxpayer dollars? If more war between Iran and the United States were the answer, we would have found it sometime in the last 73 years. We had a diplomatic off-ramp to decades of hostility in the Iranian nuclear deal that the U.S. and Iran, together with our European allies plus China and Russia, negotiated in 2015. President Trump's decision to abandon that deal, even though it was working and even though many of his closest advisors told him to maintain it, ushered in a sharp spike of Iranian aggression. American troops are dying because this nation's political leadership tragically abandoned diplomacy. We owe our troops better than this. They serve with such skill and bravery, but as our experiences in Vietnam and Iraq have shown, the bravest patriotic service cannot overcome poor civilian decision-making, whether by a president grown too fond of war or a Congress unwilling to provide a check against such behavior. Virginians feel this deeply. One of the first casualties of the war, Chief Warrant Officer Robert Marzon, lived in Spotsylvania County. Hundreds of Virginians are now deployed with the Ford Carrier Strike Group. More have received orders that they'll deploy with the Bush Carrier Strike Group. Their families ask me, have we learned nothing From 25 years of war in the Middle East, more than 14,000 American troops and contractors dead, more than 65,000 injured, more than $8 trillion spent that could have gone to our education, our healthcare, or economic development. Have we learned nothing? Like all in this room, I pray that this war ends soon. Virginians have suffered this year as a sputtering economy burdened by tariffs and chaos produces higher prices, fewer jobs, and slower growth. Gas has gone up 60 cents a gallon in the last 11 days, costing Virginians nearly $5 million a day just in increased fuel costs. We need a president who will honor his promises to avoid foreign wars of choice and strengthen the economy here at home. And we need a Congress who will not stand silent as these promises are broken. I yield back.
Senator.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and hit the subscribe button for more political insights.